Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Hannah Wallace and we're here today in Toronto for Sibos 2017. Joining me is Falk Rieker and Oliver Bussmann from SAP, and we're going to be talking about the next generation of corporate banking. Falk, Oliver, thank you for joining me today. Oliver, let's start with you. Corporate banking is a diverse marketplace and it needs to change. Can you tell me what drives this?
The corporate banking business is going through major change. The key driver for change is a higher customer expectation. Corporate clients have a different expectation than previous years. I think they are looking for more real-time processing instead of batch processing, integration into platforms, integration of third-party services like a payroll or like a ERP integration. So there's definitely a higher expectation looking at the corporate clients over the last few years.
And Falk, what can corporates expect from their banks in the future?
Well, how much time do we have? You know, it's a long list from my perspective, but I would like to point out three things. Number one, I think seamless user experience. As Oliver pointed out, we see a heterogeneous environment, and it is very inconvenient if users have to log on and switch UIs for tasks that are very, very much related. The banking service should be embedded in the ERP functionality. Secondly, I think analytical capabilities. So value-added services based on analytical information, based on data, to make better decisions and to make earlier decisions, I think is the second piece I would like to point out. And the third point is everything around digitalization. Yeah, there's still too much paperwork, sorry to say that. We are now in the 21st century, and I think digitalization is a big topic in corporate banking, and the degree of automation needs to go significantly up.
Oliver, let's come back to you. What is going to disrupt this sector, and are banks doing enough to improve the services they can offer?
So it's very similar to what happened in retail banking, that the entire value chain from sales to the back office, front office is being digitalized. Now the corporate banking business has to catch up. In the past, the focus was more on the back office. I think the digitalization has to be end-to-end, from onboarding, opportunity management to the back office. That's number one. Number two is there are now fintechs coming in, providing services more in the process improvement side. Around about 60% of fintech investments are more in the process area. I think we have to watch more the disruption. The disruption is more coming out of the blockchain technology, because the blockchain technology is already simplifying product services in the payment area, in the lending area, in the digital identity, and utilizing this kind of disruption for future business model is important, because it gives you a competitive advantage. Plus, it's an enabler also that you will see that the lines of businesses will blur. That means we will see a much more connected world out there, that industries will come together in new ecosystem, like in the mobility, in the B2B place. And that means for banks, they have to understand the technology, they have to understand what kind of new ecosystems are coming up they want to play in. And who are the players? Is it other banks, or is it more on the non-industry financial side?
And finally, Falk, what are the main benefits we can expect to see from an overall corporate banking perspective?
I think the bank have unique opportunities at this point in time to reinvent corporate banking. What do I mean by reinvent corporate banking? It is very much redesigning the customer journey, redesigning the customer experience. Coming up with new services that leverage new technology as well. And when I speak about new services, it's not necessarily completely different, but it's like working capital optimization using machine learning. It's cash and liquidity forecasting using real-time data. It's trade finance using IoT data. It's any kind of financing using telematics. Yeah? So it's instant payments using blockchain. So bringing this new technology into the traditional corporate banking services will create a new experience, will create a real-time experience, and the time to do is now.
This is very insightful. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.